Hello everyone. This is my first YouTube live session. Before that, I have been taking sessions on Google Meet. So here I'm just testing if my voice is clear. Could you people please confirm? My first YouTube live session. Before that, I have been taking sessions on. Could you people please confirm? I can see there are 10 people who have joined in with the meeting now. Could you people please confirm if my voice is clear? Okay, we will be starting the session exactly at 8 p.m. Those who ever have joined the session now, I would request you people to please wait for 4 more minutes before we begin the session. Till the time, could you people please confirm me if my voice is clear in the chat box? Thank you so much, Chitej, Amritansh, Ame, Nikhil, Nadeem, Harsh, Som, Yashwant, Nikhil. Thank you so much. I would also request you people, as you already know this thing, today's session is all about Baja Buggy Design Dynamics. If you people have got any preconceived questions associated with today's discussion, I would request you people to please drop down your questions in the comment box. In the live chat, you can drop down your questions. Whenever I will be getting the time during the session, I will be taking up all your questions. Within 3 minutes, we will be starting our discussion on today's topic. This is ARC Global's first YouTube live session. Before that, we have been taking our sessions on Google Meet or at offline grounds. We would be coming up with more such sessions every weekend. Every week, not weekend. Okay, so we have got 31 people here. Thank you so much, Chaitanya, for confirming this. Nikhil, sir, any basics for this webinar? Nikhil, all I expect from you is to have a very stable internet connection. Moreover, if you've got any prior understanding of what Baja Buggy is all about, there's going to be add-on. We will be having the most fundamental, we will be discussing about the most fundamental understanding required to develop or design a Baja Buggy in today's session. So now just 2 minutes more, or I would just say just a minute more, and then we will be starting our session. Okay, so I believe this is the time for us to start this session. Hello everyone. Hello. Thank you so much for joining today's session. If you people are listening to me, if my voice is clear, if everything that you're looking up at your screen is clear, please raise your hands, do something in the chat box, go for the hearts, go for the thumbs up, go for anything in the chat box so that I could get to know that you people are still here with me. Thank you so much everyone for joining up with today's session. I'm waiting for your responses in the chat box. Okay, so we have got 42 people here joining with today's session. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. Let's begin the session now. It's sharp 8 p.m. Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek Jain. I'm the founder director of ARC Global. We have been working in the field of history and motor sports for the last 8 years, providing trainings, workshops, and everything essential that is required to bring the students out of the confines of the classroom. We believe engineering is not something that can be done inside the confines of a classroom, and students should have to break free to start solving some real life problem. And this is where ARC Global finds its place. We have been working in the field of student motor sports. We train students and we make them build student teams and participate in any kind of national level and international level event. The primary gist of doing so is to make these people understand the real core value of engineering. We work on the implementative purpose of engineering grounds. We make students realize the practical grounds of engineering theory. Over motorsports, we are also going to come up with many of the technical workshops, many of the technical projects and events in the coming future. I would request each one of you to hit the subscribe button to this YouTube channel of ARC Global so that you would be getting notified with the upcoming videos on different technologies in the field of instrument motorsports and the other technological paradigms of Indian engineering system. So thank you so much everyone for joining in. Let's begin up with today's session. Now, any of you who is already having the understanding of what Baja Buggy is all about, you are going to get all the add-on points with today's session. Or if there is anyone for whom this particular term of Baja Buggy is very new, let me just give you the basic understanding of what this entire session is all about. Okay, so before going up with this thing, let me just give you the entire flow of today's session, how we are going to discuss these things. First, this is the most essential session that is required by any student team or an individual to start their journey in the field of student motorsports or in the field of Baja Buggy design or Baja Buggy development. You will be able to understand the most fundamental point, the most essential points, or the stepwise chronological order that is required to design a Baja Buggy. Now, having said this term for quite a long time, let me just tell you what Baja Buggy is all about, especially for the people who are listening to this particular term for the very first time. Baja Buggy. I do not know what exact language do we have this term Baja, but Baja means off-road. Off-road. And when I talk about buggy, buggy means the carrier. The carrier which is required to transport one system from one position to other position. Anything that is carrying any particular object or is required for transporting this particular part from one place to another place is regarded as the buggy. Now in the buggy, you can have the engine. Okay, I can say the IC engine, or you can have the motorized system, the electrical system or the electronic system, or you can simply use the human force by paddling it or by pushing or pulling it. Simply, you can say buggy is the structure, a carrier that is required to carry the object to transport it from one place to another place. That's it. Hmm. It could be propelled by any of these means. That's great. Now over that, what I am saying, Baja. Baja means off-road. It could be the French word, it could be the Italian word. I am not sure about this thing. If you people know the answer, please write down in the chat box. What particular language does this term originate from? Baja. Okay, we don't call it Baja, we call it Baja. Simply you can say off-road. So here I am talking about the off-road buggy. Off-road buggy. Or you can simply say off-road car. A car that is going to be propelled or that is going to be run over the off-roading condition, over the off-roading conditions. When I talk about the off-roading conditions, it means these are not, we are not talking about the charcoal roads, we are not talking about the highways, we are not talking about the speedways, we are talking about the condition of roads where you do not have the uniform pavement, you do not have the uniform structure of a pavement. Moreover, there are going to be the grooves and there are going to be the bumps. Okay, I caught this thing, right? There are going to be grooves and there are going to be bumps. It means whenever you're going to move your vehicle over such kind of surface, you need to encounter these surface irregularities. A road full of such kind of irregularities is generally regarded as the off-roading condition. Now, the people from the rural areas, the people from Bihar, Jharkhand, and some Bundelkhand region of Uttar Pradesh, you people must be very much aware of whenever we talk about the off-roading condition. Hmm? Okay, or the people who come from the motorsports background and used to participate in any kind of off-roading rally, the people already know this thing. Okay, now the question comes up, why Baja Buggy Design and Dynamics? And how is this particular topic associated with the engineering society of this country? Let's talk about this. Now, okay, I will be explaining about our programs later on. Let's just skip this thing as of now and move on with the topic. Now, just look up into this particular thing. Now, anybody who is enrolled into any kind of engineering degree program, engineering, say diploma, engineering, graduate, undergraduate, or engineering postgraduate degree program, these students have got the opportunity to design and develop their own racing vehicles, their own racing vehicles and participate in some kind of national level and international level events. Okay, international level events. Now these events have got certain rules and regulations that are going to be followed by rule book. We call it the rule book. Certain rules and regulation of a particular competition are going to be conglomerated together in the form of a document and we call it the rule book. Now, these students in a campus, say for example, I'm studying in the XYZ college. Me, along with some of my friends, my seniors, my juniors, I formed a student team of 25 members. Okay. We collected certain funds together. We raised the sponsorship. We asked the alumni to support us. We got the funds from the campus, or maybe we have raised certain funds through certain mediums. Okay. And after collecting that particular fund, we thought of forming a student team, paid the registration amount of this particular competition, and we participated in it. Now, when we participated into this particular competition, student motorsports competition, we got a rule book. Now, we need to develop a product, we need to develop a vehicle, a racing vehicle as per this rule book. Okay. Now, in this particular event, teams from n number of engineering institutes used to participate. Very good. Why do they participate? Okay. Now, in your engineering degree program, you must have studied all the possible topics that are required to develop a racing car. or that are required to develop any feasible and reliable product. Now, whatever you have studied in the classroom, in the realms of a classroom, should have to be tested in the real time setting. Okay. And participating in such kind of competitions allows you to test your engineering skills. Moreover, it also allows you to look up into what other people are doing in the vicinity of engineering background, in the vicinity of your area, what other college teams, other colleges, other students are doing. And when you participate in such kind of competitions, it's not just about win and lose, it's also about developing the spirit of a team, developing the spirit of a competition within yourself. You are going to work in a constrained timeline. You will be developing the particular product, utilizing all the skills that you have studied in your college, forming a team, working with different people, working with different department students, and developing this particular product in a constrained timeline. This is the beauty of real engineering. Please remember this one particular point. In your entire engineering degree program, only such kind of events allows you to implement your learning, implement your theoretical learning of the classroom to develop such kind of products. So please remember this one thing. So in India, we have got many kind of Baja Buggy events, many kind of off-roading championships. Say for example, SA India Baja, ATVC Aravali Terrain Vehicle Championship by Infileague Motorsports, and there are few other companies which used to organize their own off-roading championships. Moreover, we have got the go-karting championships, we have got the Supra, the Formula Prototype Championships, e-bike championships, quad bike championships. There are many kind of different activities in the field of history and motorsports. Today, we will be constraining our topic specifically to Baja Buggy. So up till now, you just understood this thing. Here, we are talking about the vehicle that is going to be run over the off-roading setting. Off-roading setting. Okay, off-roading. Great. Now, my dear friends, if you would have been given a target to design any kind of product in the world, please remember this one thing. If you are a first year engineering undergraduate, second year engineering undergraduate, or a final year engineering graduate, whosoever you are, whatsoever kind of knowledge statement that you carry with yourself, if you thought of designing a Baja buggy, if you thought of designing any kind of motorsports vehicle, the kind of step-wise process that I am developing for you people, it will remain universal. Hmm. You do not require to have the complete understanding of developing the vehicle, reading all the possible books in the world. It's not required. Just with the bare minimum understanding and developing the structure for your team will help you out in building the effective product, will help you out in building the effective vehicle. Now, please remember this one thing. When you work in the implementative approach or at the implementative grounds, you will first find out the most important difference between the theoretical settings and the implementative setting is in college. If you would have been given a numerical, you get the absolute answer and you will be provided the score to your answer on the basis of how close your answer to the absolute scale. Okay, please remember this one thing. In the world of implementation or the implementative engineering, there is no absolute answer. Say for example, there is the event that I am organizing and I asked everybody, just for the sake that there is going to be no partiality, everyone should have to use the same set of engine. Say for example, there is the stock engine and you cannot modify that particular engine. Okay, it means your output power and output torque, or I can say the RPM, these values are already defined by the organizer. These values are already defined by the organizing committee. Okay, are already being defined by the organizer. Now, everyone who is participating into this competition, say for example, there are 100 teams that are participating into this particular competition. Each of these teams will be using the exactly same engine with the same RPM, with the same torque, with the same power, but there is going to be a team which is going to be the fastest one. There is going to be the team which is going to be the slowest one. There is going to be the team which has got the most acceleration. There is going to be the team which will have the most payload capacity. There is going to be the team which will be having the highest towing capacity. Now, my dear friend, question comes up, if everyone is using the same engine, if everyone is literally using the same dimensions for the vehicle, then how could these values be different? If you're using the same Newton's law, if you're using everything that you have studied in the theory exactly the same way, in the same way, then how does that happen that in the very first year when you participate, say for example, this is the first year, when you participate, the performance of the vehicle is X, while the next year when you gain that particular experience, the performance of the vehicle increased, even though the budget of developing the vehicle was absolutely same. Why does that happen? Please remember this one thing, design is not the absolute system, is not the absolute theory system, is the iterative principle. Design works on the continuous iterative process, continuous iterative principles. You must have seen this thing. Maruti has launched a vehicle this year. The performance of this vehicle is X. Say, for example, the mileage is 35 kmpl. Next year, Maruti comes up with the same engine and says, now this year we have worked on the engine and our performance increased to 40 kmpl. Now, have we changed any particular theory in developing the vehicle? No, everything is same. Then why did they fail to get this particular mileage earlier? Why? Because please remember this one thing, design works on the iterative principle. There is no formula to calculate the absolute mileage. You just need to improve it. Okay, so your theory, whatever we have studied in the college, in our classroom, will only provide us one thing. What that thing is the reference. Okay, now my dear friends, also remember this one point. In all my sessions, I used to say this thing. If I give this particular target to a mechanic, to a group of mechanics who are working in the industry uh, with very basic educational understanding, and I give a target to the group of engineers who have completed their engineering from Tier 1 College of India and mechanics with just say 12th standard completion, okay, or maybe diploma, but they've got a 4 years of experience working into industry and they've got 0 years of experience of working into industry, but they've completed their engineering. If I ask both of them to develop a product, develop a racing car in a constrained time limit, I can bet on this thing, my dear friends, with a limited budget, I can bet on this one thing. If they have to work on the same budget, let's write it here, same timeline, okay, they have got very good theoretical understanding and they've got practical understanding. These people would be able to develop the better product in comparison to these people. These people would be able to develop the better product in comparison to these people. Okay. And and there is a possibility that if they participate in the competition, maybe these people would be able to win the competition over these. But this is not the fight. Okay, this is not the case. Where does the real case comes from? If this particular project is completely new to these people and these people, when these people, the set A people starts developing the product, they do not know how exactly their product will behave. But at the end of the day, they know this thing that their vehicle would be able to move, their vehicle would be able to corner, their vehicle would be able to stop. They only know this thing. They do not know how, they do not know what exact thing is going to happen. What does engineer do? The role of engineer is not to weld, is not to cut, is not to go to market and understand what is actually happening, though they need to do this thing. But before even start fabricating the vehicle, before even starting the manufacturing, engineer knows how vehicle will behave. They can predict the performance criteria of the vehicle. And this is where the engineering role comes up. You are going to lay out the complete foundational rules of developing your product. You are going to do the entire calculation. You are going to simulate the entire product. And my dear friends, you will find out the particular product, the particular vehicle that you have developed during the design phase. And when you develop it, you will find out the differences or the similarities between the designed model and the fabricated model. So the real win of the engineer does not come when they win the championship. The real win for the engineer comes up when they develop the product, design the product, and the designed products criteria characteristics are absolutely similar in comparison to the actually manufactured product. Please remember this one thing. You are able to predict the behavior of the developing product, okay, or the upcoming product. I hope you got my point. This is how the real engineer works. Okay, having said this thing, let's move forward. If you would have been given a target to design a Baja Buggy, where to start with? Now go on internet, search for design and development of Baja Buggy, how to start this journey. You will find out n number of research papers available. You will find out there are n number of textbooks from where the references need to be taken up. But the only problem statement, my dear friends, that you will find out is where to start with. Everyone has written what do we mean by Baja Buggy. Everybody has written what do we mean by vehicle dynamics, or what do we mean by steering system, braking system, transmission system, the chassis frame system, suspension system, but nobody has said where to start with. Now this is the real question, and majority of the student teams get stuck in here. So what we usually do, we take the references. We take certain references from X source, we take certain references from Y source, we assume certain things and start developing the product. My dear friends, please remember this one thing. As you are an engineer, there is nothing that is needed to be assumed. Please remember this one point. Yes, we need the fundamental grounds. We need the proper source from where the entire thing is needed to be bloomed. But I won't recommend you people to start assuming things unnecessarily. Now, even if you look up into the entire student motorsport scenario of our country or internationally, you will find out majority of the student teams, yes, even if I talk about the winning student teams, you will find out they all lack basic. And do you know why? Because the teams which have got this history of winning the championships, they do not design the product from scratch. They improve the already established product. So a student motorsports team do not every year they do not start fabricating the vehicle right from the scratch. They carry on the legacy that has already been established in their college, their campus, their institute, and they start improving their product every day or with the every edition of the vehicle. They start improving their product. Now this is how things work. This is how real engineering works or the motorsports design development industry works. So today in this session, I will be debunking the entire myth associated with the vehicle design and development or vehicle dynamics, and I will be giving you the stepwise process that is required to design a Baja Buggy. Hmm. Now, so before getting up directly with the Baja Buggy, let me just give you a bit of hint about vehicle dynamics as well. Baja Buggy. So in some other session, I will be discussing specifically about Baja Buggy. As of now, I'm just giving a bit of understanding, just a very small fragment of understanding how vehicle dynamics actually work. Now, to explain you people about the vehicle dynamics, just I want to tell you a story. About 150 years ago or 200 years ago, when for the very first time someone has launched a road legal automobile. Now, I'm not talking about the pedal rickshaws, human pedal rickshaws, or human assistance moving vehicles. I'm not talking about such kind of vehicles. I'm talking about the automobile which is being driven by uh, some other source. Okay, not by the human power, but by some other power. It could be the steam engine as developed by the Joseph C. Carnot, or say a petrol engine or some other source of engine, whatever it is. Now, about 200 years or 150 years ago, when people launched their very first automobile into the marketplace, and it got viral at that time, Everyone who has got a good amount of money, or maybe the royal families, they used to believe that owning an automobile is a symbol of royalty. And even today, it works in the same way in our country, at least in India. Owning a vehicle is still symbolizes the royalty of your family, at least in your locality. Okay, so people do not just use the automobile for to consider it to be the mode of transportation in India. They also used to have the vehicle in their home to showcase how wealthy, how settled their family is. Now things are changing very rapidly, but still this is a true case in majority of the places. If you agree with me, you can write down in the chat box, you can write down in the comment section. Okay, so at that time people used to believe that owning a vehicle symbolizes their royalty. Hmm. So if they talk about the royalty, what they used to believe, everyone in this world, I'm just going to make up the words here, are purchasing the engines from, say for example, engines from Germany. Okay, they just found out. Now it's a symbol of royalty. Please remember this one thing. They found out if they want to have the best possible vehicle in the world, then they need to have the best possible products assembled together to form that particular product. So they found out that the best possible engine in the world is developed in Germany. So they purchased this engine. Ticked. They found out that the best possible steering system is available in France. I do not know this thing. I'm just making up this particular story. So they procured the best possible steering system. Got it? They found out that the best possible gearbox or the complete transmission system is available in, say for example, England. So they procured it. See, taking everything, right? They found out that the best possible suspension system is available in Japan. They procured it. They found out that the best possible chassis frame structure is available in Italy. Procured it. They found out that the best possible braking system is available in Soviet. They procured it. Now, see my dear friend, just look here. A vehicle having the world's best possible engine. Wow. A vehicle having having the world's best possible steering system, suspension system, transmission system, braking system, chassis frame system. And when we brought each of these world's best possible system and assembled them together, best of steering, suspension, transmission, braking, and chassis frame. When the world's best possible systems are assembled together and they develop the vehicle. Okay, now there is some royal family, they purchased this particular product, they developed it specifically for themselves, and when they started to run it, they found out this is not the world's best product. The overall assembly of this product is not the world's best possible product. Oh my god. They have got the world's best possible steering, suspension, transmission, braking, chassis frame, but the overall integration of this particular mechanism gives them the below average product of the time. Why? Why so? How does this thing happen? We literally have got no idea, my dear friend. We literally have no idea. How could this even happen? Now they found out this thing that the science of vehicle design, vehicle development, or automobile does not simply or merely depends on the theory of assembling. No, it does not merely work on just the theory of assembling. No, there is something more to it. There is something more to it. People used to believe at that time that if we are making the chassis frame structure, let's just say my chassis frame is the heaviest one. Oh wow. Okay, or I would be saying I have got the best possible engine, 3000 cc, 5000 cc, 6000 cc engine. It means I've got the fastest car, the most vehicle with the most acceleration. No, all these things fail. Then we found out that vehicle is not the dedicated entity. Vehicle is all about the integrated entity. And when we talk about the integrated entity, we need to focus on the theory of integration of each of these subsystems. Theory of integration of each of these subsystems, my dear friend. And when I talk about the theory of integration of each of these subsystems, we call it the vehicle dynamics. We call it vehicle dynamics. Now, what do we mean by vehicle dynamics? I will be explaining this thing shortly. Before that, let me just tell you one thing. We at ARC Global have been working in the field of history and motorsports for quite a long time. We are the only company in India that is technically qualified to take up the training programs in association with the design and development of such kind of products. So be it the motorsports utility vehicles, or be it the automobile, or be it the already traded products into the marketplace, we're the only company in India that provides the complete manufacturing solutions as well as the complete training solutions into this particular field. I would recommend each of you to join our internship cum training programs. These are 30 days exclusive programs in which a student learns about the theory of vehicle dynamics, fundamental of automobile, CAD, CAE, and a project, and a complete project in which you will be receiving three different certificates: certificate of completion from ARC Global, certificate of project from Koshi Motors, and your certificate of internship again from Abhisham Technologies Private Limited. I would request each one of you to please take up these training programs, these 30 days exclusive program, where you will be learning about the vehicle design and development with us for 30 days straight. Every day there is going to be 1 hour of class, 1 hour of discussion, and you're not going to work alone, you are going to work in a team. All these workshops comes at a very affordable cost of just 3500. Please visit our website achillesracingclub.com/internships slash internship. You will be getting the link of this particular training programs, this particular page in the checkbox very shortly. Okay, let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Having said this thing, that's enough. Let's move ahead. I was talking about vehicle dynamics. Now, at that time, when those people found out that then they assemble the best product steering, best product transmission, best product braking in the vehicle, but the performance of the vehicle is not best. Performance of the vehicle is below average. How does this thing happen? Then there are few people from the world of mathematics. They came along and they said, if you are going to integrate the complete mechanism of the vehicle by the theories of the mathematics, you will be getting a very good product. Okay. They said everything in the vehicle should have to be regulated from the position of centroidal axis. Okay, we got this result. Now, there were people from the background of physics. They came up and said, they claim, when you're going to develop the product, the complete product's characteristics are going to be defined by the position of center of gravity. Okay. Now we have got two different tech heads, one from the field of mathematics and one from the field of physics, and both are contrary to each other. The person from the mathematics says everything in the vehicle is going to be regulated from the position of centroid, while the physics person says that everything in the vehicle, the physicist says everything in the vehicle is regulated by the position of center of gravity. Who is correct? Who is wrong? Both of them are correct and both of them are wrong. In actual, everything in a vehicle, the complete behavior of the vehicle is not going to be governed solely on the basis, solely by the theory of mathematics, no. Solely by the theory of physics, no. It is going to be regulated. The complete theory of the product, complete theory of the vehicle is going to be regulated by the mix of both of these approaches, which is regarded as the vehicle dynamics. It took 100 years for people to understand the theory of vehicle dynamics. And in the very beginning of the 20th century, someone read the white paper that is being published years ago about the concept of vehicle dynamics. And then they started to develop the vehicle, considering That vehicle is not the dedicated entity, but vehicle is the integrated entity. A vehicle, an automobile, is the integration of different subsystems, and each of these subsystems are the dedicated entities. It means the complete vehicle is not a dedicated entity. Okay, when I say dedicated, it means a singular product that can be governed just by a single law. No. Integrated entity is a combined product that is regulated by different basis of theories. So your vehicle, your automobile is an integrated entity which is made up of five different systems. Five different systems. The first system is chassis frame. The second system is steering system. The third system is braking system. My dear friend, there is no specific order of writing down this thing. Okay, you can write down the steering system before and braking system before that. It entirely depends on you. Then suspension system. And final is the transmission system. Now you can include as many things as possible, but these are the five basic elements, five basic systems that are required to construct any kind of automobile. It is literally impossible to construct any kind of automobile in the world without doing the simulation, without doing the analysis, or without calculating the parameters for each of these subsystems. Each of these subsystems, please remember this one thing. Okay, so I have said that any kind of automobile, particularly Baja Buggy here, is an integrated product, combined or is made up of the assembly of these five systems. These five systems. Now, my dear friends, the real topic comes. Baja Buggy Design and Dynamics. Where to start with? What is the very first thing that is needed to be considered while designing the product? Hmm. From here, I'm starting my journey. I'm going to take you people to a journey of understanding how the approach of vehicle dynamics works. I'm going to make your life very easy in the field of student motorsports, in the field of his automobile. And mark my words, anybody who talks about this particular concept, talks about this particular ecology, please remember this one thing. ARC Global is India's only company that laid the foundation of such kind of understanding of vehicle dynamics in the entire world. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. So whenever you have been given a target to design a vehicle, or if you look up into any catalog of a vehicle, or the technical specification of a vehicle, what do you usually see? What do you usually see? Okay, so today, or say for example tomorrow, I will be going to the marketplace, or I will be just taking up the catalog or the technical specification sheet of any product that is available into the marketplace, any automobile. What I will be having, I will be looking up into length, width, height of the product. I will be finding out the wheelbase and track width of the product. Okay. And what else will I be finding out? I will be finding out the maximum speed, acceleration, gradability, payload capacity, towing capacity, suspension travel, or say stopping distance at the maximum speed. I will be finding out such parameters. Okay, I will be finding out these all possible technical parameters of the product. That's fine. Now I have been given a target to design a product in competition to the existing product whose technical specifications I am looking up right now. I got this target. Now I need to develop this product. From where will I start my journey? What's the very first thing that I will be doing? There should be something from where the complete product is going to be started up, is going to be built upon. From where? How will I start doing that? The question comes up here. The question comes up here, how will I start working onto it? Okay, guys, just give me a moment. In the chat box, you will be getting the link of all of our internship come training programs. I will be requesting my coordinators to please share the link of our training programs, our social media handles in the chat box. Okay, you will be finding out these things there. Hmm. In the chat box, you will be finding out my comment with the name of Abhishant India at leadracincclub.com/internships. You can check out our courses, our 30 days internship come training programs in there. Okay. Huh. So let's just see this thing. From where will I start doing this thing? Please remember this one thing. Designing a vehicle is all about the continuous iterative process. It means we need to first build a product, or we need to at least define the parameters, and then we will start improving that particular product under discussion, or whatever we have designed earlier, we will start improving it. So how to do that thing? What else? We first need to understand the entire process of designing it. Please remember this one thing. The complete vehicle is needed to be developed not on the basis of assumed values, but on the basis of targeted values. But on the basis of targeted values. Okay? Now, what do we actually mean by targeted values? When you have been given a target to design the product, you first need to understand what is my targeted speed. Okay, this is my targeted speed. What is my targeted acceleration? This is my targeted acceleration. What is my targeted stopping distance? This is my targeted stopping distance. Now, the question comes up, how will you select this targeted speed? Now, somebody would come up and say, my targeted speed is 10,000 kmph, or the speed of light is my targeted speed. Nothing wrong. That could be right. Okay, that could be right. Targeted speed. How will you get this understanding? What's the targeted speed of a Formula One car? If I have not ever seen a Formula One race, how would I get to know what is the targeted speed if I need to develop my Formula One car? If I need to develop and I want to launch my Formula One car into the marketplace, how would I get to know this thing? Okay, we need to understand this thing. For that, let me just give you a bit of theory how this entire industry works, how this entire scenario, how this entire thing works, my dear friend. Let's look here. Let's look here. If you would have been ever given a target to design any kind of product, be it automobile or be it any kind of product in the world, or be it a concept, be it the IT product, civil product, electrical product, electronics product, mechanical product, automobile product. If you would have been given a target to design a system, you need to follow this particular order. Okay, now please remember this one thing, anybody can develop a product, but the engineer should have to find out the stepwise order of developing the product. You need to sync the entire process. You do not need to work discrete. Today I am feeling very good and I believe I will be working on steering. Oh, tomorrow I am really messed up, so I just want to start something afresh, so I will be working on chassis frame. No, it does not work like that. You need to follow the stepwise process of developing the product. And this is what engineering is all about. So I am talking about the trilogy of design. I am talking about the chronology of design process of anything. So now you have been given a target of designing a Baja Buggy. The first thing that you need to do, my dear friends, is to understand the problem statement. What is the problem statement? The problem statement is to design a Baja Buggy. Problem statement. Or I could also say you need to define it. You need to provide a definition. What do you mean by Baja Buggy? What do you mean by Baja Buggy? The real question comes up. So please remember this one thing. What do we actually mean by definition? So you need to define the Baja Buggy in a way that it will be distinguishing it from all the other subjects and objects present in the world. So please remember this one point. Definition is a single sentence statement that defines the subject under scrutiny in a way that it also distinguishes it from all the other subjects and objects present in the world. Okay? Definition is a single sentence statement that describes the subject under scrutiny in a way that it also distinguishes it from all the other subjects and objects present in the world. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, I'm just checking up your comments. Nobody is commenting right now. No worries. Okay, so when we talk about Baja Buggy, how will you define it? How will you define it? You will be saying Baja Buggy. Now, it could be completely different for the professional purpose or the industry purpose, or maybe for the student motorsports teams. Baja Buggy, these terms is going to be different. So you will be saying, say for example, someone says, who is Abhishek Jain? So you won't be saying Abhishek Jain is a boy. Now, if you just define Abhishek Jain is a good boy, Abhishek Jain is an intelligent boy, Abhishek Jain is a 31-year-old guy, is it my definition? No. There could be n number of people in the world having the age of 31 or having the same name Abhishek. So how would you define Abhishek? So you will be saying Abhishek Jain is born on 22nd Jan 1993 in Etawah at Etawah from my parents' name, or you can simply say Abhishek Jain is the Indian citizen having the Aadhaar card number of this particular value. This is how you define me. Now, anybody in this world will not be carrying the same Aadhaar number, or anybody in this world is not going to be born on the same date from the same parents at the same location. Now, the exception is the twins uh, or the triplets, but definitely this is how you define me. Similarly, you need to design the Baja Buggy. You won't be saying Baja Buggy is the student motorsports vehicle. No, you would be saying Baja Buggy is the kind of product that is going to have four wheels, two in the front, two in the rear, aligned in the lateral direction, propelled by a single engine to be driven by a single driver, having the active roll cage system or having the active differential system, active suspension system to be propelled over such kind of road surface. You need to define each of these systems, my dear friends. You need to define each of these systems to give the definition of a Baja Buggy. So please remember this one thing. Definition is a single sentence statement that describes the subject under scrutiny in a way that it also distinguishes it from all the other subjects and objects present in the world. Second is the purpose. What is your purpose? So for example, I am developing a product, I am participating in a competition. Here is my friend, he is also participating in a competition. So here is Chitij, here is Abhishank. Now Abhishank is participating in a competition, Chit is also participating in the same competition. We both are developing Baja Buggy. Now my target is to win the championship at any condition. While Chit's target is to develop the product that will be lasting for tens of years, or that is going to be driven by his college chairman or chairperson, sorry, or maybe a director, or maybe HOD. Could be. It's going to be driven by anyone, everyone in his campus. And my only target is to win the championship. I know who my driver is, and I want to develop the product, develop the vehicle that is going to best suit my driver's abilities. I do not care if this vehicle is going to burnt down completely after the race or is going to be broken down completely after the race. I don't care. Or if it would be able to survive 2-3 races. What my target is, that one particular race during the event which I need to win. I do not care if my chairperson of the campus, my director or HOD is going to fit inside the vehicle or not. What I care about is I need to win the championship. Now the purpose of both of us are different. Chitters will be developing the product having very high factor of safety. Okay, very high factor of safety. While I will be developing the product having very low factor of safety, almost close to 1, just above 1. Okay, so please remember this one thing. Guys, just give me a moment. Okay. Hmm. Okay. He does not want this vehicle. He does not just want to develop a product that is going to last for a single race. Definitely, when we both are going to take up our product into the marketplace, you will find out his product is going to be better in comparison to mine. But if you take up both of the products into the racing track, my product is going to be much better than his product. The purpose is different. The purpose is different. Say for example, I've got a budget of crores. So I've got a choice either to purchase a Formula One car in any condition. Someone is auctioning the Formula One cars. So I've got the budget to either purchase a Formula One car or purchase a Bugatti Veyron. Now I know this thing. This is the world's fastest car, having the most comfortable features. When the driver is going to be seated, oh my God, such a comfort, very small refrigerator, air conditioner, music system, seats, everything wonderful. And if I look up into Formula One car, there is no refrigerator. There is no air conditioner. Okay. Not a very good sitting posture. Oh my God. And it's still so expensive. Not even the fastest speed. Very less uh, engine power. But still, if you look up into this particular vehicle, you will find out if you take both of them on the racing track, you will find out Formula One vehicle is going to win the championship against the Bugatti Veyron because the purpose is different. And look for top fuel race dragster, a vehicle whose engine burns out completely after a quarter seconds, or just say 3 seconds or 4 seconds, or at max say 20 seconds. The complete engine, tire, everything burns up. They are not developing the product that is going to be driven for years, but they are developing the product that is going to last only for 20 seconds. But in these 20 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it is going to give them the speed that nobody has ever achieved onto the racing track. Purpose should have to be clear. Now, I am talking about the chronological order. The first thing that you need to do is to provide the definition of the problem statement. Second is the purpose. And third is the area of usage, where you are going to use it. Now, somebody is participating in Indian off-roading championship. Somebody is participating in, say for example, US off-roading championship. Or say for example, someone is participating in the Formula One championship that is being conducted in BIC, Buddha International Circuit. Or maybe in Monaco. Or in some other race, in some other country. In Bahrain. In some other country. You will find out each of these racing tracks have got their own gradability, have got their own gradient, have got their own advantages, disadvantages, different kind of tunings, different kind of setups. And my dear friend, you will find out once you start participating into these competitions. If you participate into these competitions, my dear friend, you will find out you will be having the different usage. At this, maybe you will be having more right side corners, you will be having more left side corners here, you will be having the higher straight patch length here. So accordingly, you will be tuning your vehicle. Accordingly, you will be tuning your vehicle. What is your area of usage? Say for example, if today I want to launch a product in India, an automobile, or I want to launch the same product in UK. Now check up the website of Tata Motors, Hyundai, Honda, Mahindra, Kia, or any company that you find out in the Indian marketplace, four-wheeler or two-wheeler. If they have got the product in India and they have also got the same product in UK or maybe in America, check out their websites. You will find out in the Indian website the technical specification that they provide to Indian users is very less. Very, 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 very less. But for the same product, when they launch it into the UK marketplace, or in the US marketplace, in the European marketplace, or in the American marketplace, the kind of information that they provide on their website is very high. Now you will find out the scooter that Honda launches in India or launches in European marketplace. In India, they have got the ground clearance of 150 mm to 180 mm. But in European marketplace, the ground clearance is 125 mm. Area of usage, they know this thing. Indian roads are not that good in comparison to the European roads. Moreover, you will find out they provide the complete product specification on their website, where what particular bolt is used, nut is used, the design of the nut, bolt, everything is provided on their website. But in the Indian marketplace, they don't provide any information because they know Indian customers are foolish. They are fool. They don't provide us the information. Why? Because if anything breaks in our vehicle, we will be directly hopping down into the service center and purchasing the product in whatsoever cost they want to sell it. But in the European marketplace, before purchasing the product, you need to provide the complete list of all the items which are required to construct this product and what is going to be the aftermarket cost to replace any of these items. Area of usage, my dear friends. What is your area of usage? And the fourth one is the constraints. So let me just say, first is definition, second is purpose, third is area of usage, and fourth is constraint. Okay, first you need to find out the definition, second purpose, third area of usage, and fourth is the constraint. Now you have been given a target to design a Baja Buggy, but what are the constraints? What a budget do you have? What timeline do you have to design or develop this particular product? I don't know. I don't know this thing. Hmm? How will you design it? I don't know this thing, right? What technical expertise do you hold? You don't know this thing. I'm coming back. Hmm. Okay. Constraints, right? Constraints. So now you have been given a target to design a vehicle. You got the definition, you know the targets, you know what targets you need to achieve, you know the problem statement, you know your purpose, you know your area of usage. Now you know your constraints. You know what budget do you have. Okay, you know what timeline do you have, what expertise do you have. You know each of these things, right? And accordingly, you will be developing a product. If you follow the same order, my dear friends, of developing the product, if you follow the same order, we call it the top-down approach of developing or designing a product. We call it the top-down order, top-down approach of developing or designing a product. Top-down approach. Cool, we got this thing, right? And if you follow exactly in the opposite way, we call it the bottom up approach. Now see how both of these are different. Now you have formed a student team of 25 members. You have got the 5 teams in the R&D. Now you all have thought of building a Baja Buggy and participating in a student motorsports competition. Accordingly, you develop your problem statement. You got all the targeted values. You know your purpose. You know the area of usage, which particular event, which particular category you are participating in, and you know what your constraints are. Now somebody, this R&D team from your this R&D team in your student team has started finding out what possible things can be done to achieve these targets. You looked up into all the possible textbooks, you looked up into all the possible research papers, and you start designing the complete product as per each of these parameters. You start doing it. And after getting the complete model, complete 3D model, when you start to work on it, you found out that these are the few tools that are required to be, you need to work on these particular tools. Okay, say for example, you need to work on SolidWorks, you need to work on ANSYS, you need to work on MATLAB, you need to work on uh, Adams, you need to work on Ricardio. So these are tools, or maybe on Lotus, these are tools on which you people need to work on. But you found out that we are good in SolidWorks, we are good in ANSYS, but we don't know MATLAB, we don't know Adams, we know Ricardio, but we don't know how to work on Lotus. These are the constraints. So you need to again develop the team, or accordingly you will be making the strategy so that your vehicle, your entire process of developing the product is not going to be hindered. Now you develop the ideal product. You said that we want to develop the world's lightest weight possible vehicle, lightest weighing vehicle. That's fine. But while doing so, you found out the budget, the money that is required to develop this particular product is way too high, and you do not have such kind of budget to develop this particular product. You again found out this particular thing, my dear friends. The ideal approach, right? Ideal approach. And then in the end, when you found out your constraints, you do not have this budget. Or maybe you said that we will be using this particular item to develop the vehicle. Maybe you will be saying I will be using the carbon fiber, but this particular element, this particular item is not available in the local vicinity. Maybe you said that we will be making such kind of design, region design for our product, for our vehicle, but the machinery that is required to develop this particular designed product is not available in your campus, or the time that is required to develop this product is not available with you. How can you work on it now? Okay, so ideal approach, top down approach is very good. Usually you will find out all the researchers, these PhD holders, they work on this ideal forecasting, ideal approach, this particular approach, top down approach. And now if you look up into any mechanic, if you go to the marketplace and you find out any mechanic, what they exactly do? Definition, purpose, area of usage, and constraint. My dear friends, everything in this world do not arise from here, they arise from here. We call it the bottom up approach. What they will be doing? They will be looking up how much time? Okay, 1 month. Oh my god. What is the budget? Oh, 1 lakhs. Okay. What all that you require? Okay, this is what you require. So they just find out what is available into the marketplace. They start assembling them, and while assembling, after making the complete product, they will find that oh, we developed a product that achieved this particular velocity, that would be able to get this particular acceleration, that would be able to do this, do that, this, do that, and we call it the bottom-up approach. Now, as an engineer, you won't be working solely on the top-down approach or on the bottom-up approach. It's not possible to work solely on each of these approaches. We work on the mix of both of these approaches. We always work on the mix of both of these approaches. Let me just write down here. Definition, purpose. I'm writing it again and again because I want these thoughts to be planted in your mind. And constraints. Okay, now look here, my dear friends. Each of these things, if I say top-down approach and bottom-up, if I say there's a leading factor and there is a trailing factor, it means most emphasis is given to one of them. So if I say most emphasis is given on top-down approach and least is given on bottom-up, we call it the qualitative analysis. So your R&D team has decided that we need to develop such kind of product. Everything theoretically is the best possible structure that they have developed. Now, the complete marketing team, this complete team will focus, the other team will focus, execution team will focus on how they will make this happen. Okay, how they will make this happen. Now, this team, the R&D team will be developing the theory, will be developing the design, and the execution team, R&D team and the execution team will make sure that how will they achieve what R&D team is asking. We call it the qualitative analysis. And second is when you give the leading factor to the bottom up and trailing factor to the top down. We call it the quantitative analysis, where you focus on First, you focus on what is already available into the marketplace. Okay, so you will be having the team which will be looking up into what other teams are doing, what all products are already available into the marketplace, what all things are possible for you people. And after finding out such products, now to achieve a speed of 100 kmph, this is the product that is available into the marketplace. You don't need to design it, just look up, you need to focus on this particular part, and according to this particular part, you need to make your design. It means most emphasis has been given to bottom-up approach, and accordingly, your R&D team is working. Accordingly, your R&D team is developing the design. We call it quantitative analysis. So you will find out all the mechanics usually focus on quantitative analysis, while all the engineers should have to focus on qualitative engine for qualitative analysis. Okay, so this is the difference that you will find out among both of them. I would recommend you people to focus more on qualitative analysis. I hope you got this particular point. Could you people please confirm me if whatever I am discussing right now is understandable? You people are getting this particular point. Please write it in the chat box, thumbs up, or just drop your hearts in the chat box so that I could get to know that you people are getting whatever I am describing you. Please confirm. Please confirm everyone. Join our training programs, our internship programs. These are 30 days internship come training programs. Each of them at a very affordable cost. 1 month program. This program is already live. New batch is starting for every Monday. We start a new batch. Every Monday. For each of these courses. Every new Monday a new batch starts. Drop us a message on this particular number 8800219630 to get to know more about these programs. Okay, so thank you so much for confirming that you people are getting the concept that we are discussing. So now, I hope you people got the clarity how this complete product is needed to be developed, how the complete vehicle is needed to be developed. Now I will be telling you the stepwise process that is required to develop a Baja Buggy. So Baja Buggy or any kind of automobile is basically comprised of 5 subsystems. Everything else is an add-on, is the feature. But these are the 5 fundamental departments that are required to construct a product. I have already written it. I am writing it down again. Chassis frame, steering system, braking system, suspension system, and transmission system. Okay, so these are the 5 systems that are required to develop a Baja Buggy. We understood this thing. We understood this thing. So let's just do one thing. Baja Buggy, we can also say Baja Buggy is the integration of 5 systems, 5 fundamental systems. Okay. Now, integration of these 5 fundamental systems, not a dedicated entity. There is no single law that will govern the design characteristics of a Baja Buggy. But these are the different laws. And when I talk about the Baja Buggy, I can also say Baja Buggy's specification, technical specification or technical configurational setup are length, width, height, wheelbase, track width, ground clearance, center of gravity height or location, speed, acceleration, gradability, and stopping distance, suspension travel, payload capacity, their towing capacity, and many more. So you will find out these are technical parameters of a Baja Buggy. So I can also say on the basis of these parameters, if I need to categorize my Baja Buggy, I would be saying there are two types of parameters on the basis of which my Baja Buggy can be categorized. The first categorization comes up under the characteristic parameters. The characteristic parameters to define a Baja Buggy. And second one is the kinetic or the dynamic parameters. Dynamic parameters of a Baja Buggy. Characteristic means something that will remain stationary, something that will not change, unchangeable, something that will not change. Okay, something that will not change. What? The length of the vehicle. If I have purchased a vehicle at any condition, I am moving uphill, I am going downhill, I am driving this vehicle in India, in US, in UK, in China, in Japan, anywhere. The length of the vehicle, width of the vehicle, height of the vehicle, wheelbase of the vehicle, track width of the vehicle, ground clearance of the vehicle will not change. Dimensions, it means dimensional categorization will not change. But if I am driving my vehicle in the uphill, my speed can change. In the downhill, my speed can change. My acceleration can change. My payload capacity in uphill and downhill will be different. My towing capacity in off-roading and on-roading condition are going to be different. My suspension travel at different loading conditions are going to be different. At different loads, my suspension travel is going to be different. At different conditions, driving conditions, my stopping distance at a particular velocity is going to be different. If I am driving my vehicle over a more slippery surface, the stopping distance is going to be higher. If I'm driving my vehicle at a lesser slippery surface or maybe on an on-ground surface, I would be saying my on-road, I will be saying my stopping distance is good. So each of these parameters are dependent on certain factors and are susceptible to change. So all the parameters that are susceptible to change are regarded as the dynamic parameters that are not susceptible to change but are stationary, are uniform, or you can say are unchangeable. You can call it the characteristic parameters. Okay. Now on the basis of parameters, we understood the complete buggy can be categorized into two systems. Now you will find out if these parameters are needed to be associated with the subsystems. I can say characteristic parameters include length, width, height, ground clearance, or other parameters, dimensional parameters. I can say all these terms are associated. All these terms are associated with my chassis frame design. Okay, and if I talk about the performance parameters, or the dynamic parameters here, it is also known as the performance parameter. Performance parameters or dynamic parameters, it is associated with the speed, acceleration, everything else, transmission or powertrain, transmission system, stopping distance, braking system, suspension travel, suspension system, turning radius, steering system. It means each of these systems are susceptible, their performances are susceptible to changes. These are regarded as the performance parameters. Performance parameters. So let's just try to understand, if you would have been given a target to design a Baja Buggy, how will you start your journey? So to start your journey, you first need to understand what do you mean by each of these systems, each of these individual systems. So let's start it with not with the characteristic parameter but with the dynamic parameters or performance parameters. Steering system. What do we mean by steering system? Please remember this one thing. This is the most fundamental understanding. So I won't be explaining the entire calculation, entire thing. That takes time. For that, we are going to come up with short videos in the coming future. Please subscribe this YouTube channel. To get notified with any of the coming videos onto this particular channel, I would request you people to please support us by sharing this particular channel link with each of your friends. This is India's most authentic touring motorsports YouTube channel, where you will be getting the most technical content required to design or develop a motorsports vehicle. Okay, steering system. What do you mean by steering system? Now people would come and say steering system is the kind of system that is required to turn the vehicle. Absolutely, everyone is correct. Or you could be having something else in your mind. But whenever I talk about steer, you can get to very easily understand or can relate to this particular point anything with which you can control the directional change in your vehicle. Very good. My dear friends, let me just introduce a word. We call it directional maneuverability. A steering system is a kind of system that allows the driver to have the directional maneuverability of the vehicle. Any system that provides the directional maneuverability of the vehicle to the driver is regarded as the steering system. How is it different from directional control? See, maneuverability. It means you can maneuver the direction of the vehicle. When I say maneuver, it means you can change the direction of the vehicle. You can control the direction of the vehicle. And moreover, when I say it provides the directional maneuverability of the vehicle to the driver, it means your vehicle is moving straight. Understand this particular principle. Okay. Now, as you're moving straight, suddenly a bump came up. And as soon as the bump came up, your vehicle moved into left side on its own. You have not provided the input to the vehicle to move left. It moved left onto its own, on its own. Now, as you're having the steering system, you can bring it back to the straight line path. Can I call it the steering system? No. I will be saying if this thing is happening, it means this is the issue of bump steer in the vehicle. There's a bump steer issue in the vehicle. You will be getting it aligned. You will be getting the vehicle aligned. You will be getting it rectified. So when I say maneuverability, it means my vehicle cannot change the direction on its own. Only I, the driver, has the ability to change the direction of the vehicle whatsoever the condition is. So it's not just controlling, it's also about initiating the change in direction of the vehicle. I hope you got this thing. So when the steering system, when we talk about the steering system, we do not say controlling the change in direction of the vehicle. No, you say I can initiate the change in direction and I can also control the change in direction of the vehicle. I hope you got this point. A steering system. We call it the steering system. So you need to develop the kind of system that would be able to, with that, you would be able to achieve this. I'm just giving you the bit of understanding about each of these systems. Then I will be telling you what all points are needed to be calculated. And then I will be telling about in what order each of these points are needed to be calculated. In a very smaller way, in a very concentrated way, I will be explaining. It's not going to be complete, but I will be giving you an understanding. Hmm. Just follow this particular YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel. In the coming videos, we will be giving you the detailed understanding of how these things work. The complete detailed understanding will be passed on to you in the coming sessions. Okay, okay. Let me just see how many people have joined our YouTube channel up till now. Let me just check this thing. Okay, we have got 33 subscribers here. Thank you so much, people, those who have subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much, everyone. Let's move ahead. Let's move ahead. Maneuver ability. You understood this point. Now, similarly, if I need to talk about suspension system, what do I mean by that? What do you mean by suspension system? Okay, now see. Please remember this one thing. Suspension system is the kind of system that is required to suspend all the objects over the ground surface other than the reactional surfaces. So if this is my vehicle, say for example, okay, now in this vehicle you will see this is a four-wheeler. There are only four reactional surfaces. This tire, and the tires on the back side. So only these tires are the reactional surfaces. Nothing else is touching the ground. If they're not touching the ground, it means there is no reaction. If you need to measure the total weight of the vehicle, you are going to put up your weighing machines beneath these tires, right, to measure it. The only reactional surfaces with the ground that you will find out in this vehicle are your tires. Are your tires. Okay. Are front, are rear, reactional surfaces. Total weight of the vehicle is equal to RF plus RR. This is how you measure. The only reactional surface that you will find out here in your vehicle is this particular thing. This is the total weight W. Okay, we understood this thing. So anything that is required to suspend the complete vehicle over the ground surface is regarded as the suspension system. Even if there is no spring attached, no damper attached, then you can say what is making sure that everything is over the ground surface? Your tires. Because of your tires, everything is over the ground surface. It means your tires are regarded as the suspension system. Okay. Over that, everything, your driver, passengers, your engine, your steering, everything in your vehicle is over the ground surface. Because of what? Because your chassis frame is holding it. It means your chassis frame is also regarded as the suspension system. But you will find out the primary function of the tire is something else. Primary function of the chassis frame is something else. So these are regarded as the passive suspension system. What is the primary role of tires and chassis frame? I will be explaining later on. These are regarded as the passive suspension system, but not the active suspension system. I will be explaining this thing later on. Just stay here with me. Just be a bit patient. Okay, okay. But when we talk about the suspension system, we usually talk about active suspension system. What do we mean by active suspension system? Now see, okay, now see, this is the spring that is attached. My vehicle is moving forward, very good, everything is fine. Suddenly I found out that a bump came up. Let me just make a smaller picture. This is a very big one. It's not going to work out for us. Let me make a very smaller one. This is my road. Okay, this is the vehicle that I have developed. Okay, now see, I am seated here, this circle. From ground, I am seated at a height h. There is no spring attached. Okay, these are my tires. Suddenly a bump came up. What will happen? My front tire rose up. My rear tire came on ground. Everything is fixed. What would happen? You can simply say Abhishank reached to this particular position. Earlier Abhishank was sitting at a height of h, but now Abhishank is sitting at a height of h plus h dash. If Abhishank is sitting at a height of h dash, it means my position changed. It means the inertia is acting on my body. Certain inertia, certain force is acting on my body. This is what Newton's first law says, change in position. Huh? Change in position is happening, right? My position is changing. Momentum is acting on my body, my dear friends. The force is acting on my body, my dear friends. So what does active suspension system do? Active suspension system just makes sure one thing, that now look here, if I say a bump came up, something like this, my tire raised here, my rear tire is here, what will happen? You can see the front suspension will collapse and the rear suspension will expand. Why? Just to make sure if Abhishek was sitting here, the height of the Abhishek won't change. It means no change in height of passengers or anything that is over the suspension system. See, is regarded as the sprung mass. That the height of the sprung mass does not change during any course of driving. During the entire course of travel, the height of the driver, the height of the sprung mass is not changing. This is the basic purpose or principle of active suspension system. Any system that makes sure that the height of the sprung mass does not change during the course of travel is regarded as the active suspension system. My dear friends, please remember this one particular point. Okay, you need to design the suspension system in such a way. In such a way. Now, similarly, we need to discuss about the braking system. Braking system. What do we mean by braking system? My vehicle is moving at a speed of, say here, my vehicle is moving at a speed of 60 kmph, having the weight of 2000 kg. Suddenly, at a distance of 10 meters from here, from the edge, you found out that Abhishank is standing here. Oh, you saw me and you applied the brakes. What is your target? Your target is to stop the vehicle within the limit of 10 meters. How would you do it? Any system that is responsible to stop the vehicle is regarded as the braking system. Am I right? Yes, I am right in the layman's term, but in engineering term it is wrong. If I push the vehicle in the opposite force, would I be able to stop my vehicle? Yes. What force that is required to stop the vehicle? You can simply say this thing, 2000 into this particular velocity divided by this particular, or simply with the deceleration that is required, you can say the force is equals to m into ax, where ax is the deceleration. And how will you calculate the deceleration? That 16.67 meter per second is the speed u, v is equal to 0, s distance is equals to 10 meters. So you know this thing, v square is equals to u square plus 2as. Now you already know, v not required. Let's say a is minus a here, so you can simply calculate this thing, u square by 2s. Simply calculate this thing. Okay, now if I roughly, if I need to do the rough calculation, I will be saying it would be around 26 or 27 meter per second square, somewhat here. Okay, I know the weight, I know the deceleration, I can say how much forces need to be applied in the opposite direction so that my vehicle would stop to this particular limit. So should I apply this particular load in the opposite direction? Will I do this thing? No. So anything that is, any system that will make sure that my vehicle would be stopping in such a distance, or with such an deceleration is regarded as the braking system is not the correct definition. I would be saying braking system is a kind of system that converts the kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy of the wheels into the heat energy developed between the brake disc and the caliper, brake drums and the braking pads. Yes, we apply the brakes in a way that the complete kinetic energy at the wheel is going to be converted into heat energy between the brake disc or the brake drum and the caliper or the brake pads. Got my point? This is known as braking system. I'm not going to apply the force here in the opposite direction. My vehicle will crumple down. I will be applying the load in the opposite torque. My vehicle is moving forward. How? By producing the torque to my tires. My tires are producing the rotational as well as the translational motion. Hmm. Similarly, we will be talking about the transmission system. What do we mean by transmission system? Any system that is responsible to move the vehicle forward. Am I right? So if this is my vehicle, moving forward, okay, moving forward, I will be just pushing it from back. It is moving forward. Can I call it the transmission system? No. I'm having the engine. I've got the belt. I've got the gears, everything. I'm attached it with the rear tire gearbox, and it is moving forward. I can call this entire system that is responsible to move my vehicle forward automatically as the transmission system. But fundamentally, if I need to develop this particular theory, how would I say this thing? If it is just about the rotation of the tires and the road is very slippery, can I call it the transmission system? Because my vehicle will not move forward because there is no reactional surface. The reactional force is very less to move the vehicle forward, very less. Then you cannot control it, right? Even if I push it, your vehicle will move forward, but I cannot control it. I cannot control the motion. So I cannot call it the transmission system. So make sure whenever we talk about the transmission system, the entire purpose of conducting today's session is to give you the most fundamental understanding about vehicle dynamics, is to give you the most fundamental understanding about Baja Buggy Design Dynamics. Okay, so whenever I talk about the transmission system, I am particularly talking about the system that makes sure that this particular tire here is rotating and at the same time is also producing the translatory motion. Okay, rotation and translation both are important here. Okay, for that, how will we do this thing? We know this thing, tires are the only objects in the entire vehicle that are having the reactional surfaces. Those are reactional surfaces. So there is a reaction between the tire and the ground. They are connected together. So if your vehicle is moving forward, that is only moving forward because there is the opposite reactional force that is acting because of the road surface and the tires relationship between the road. Tires relationship between the road, and we call this relationship as the traction. In some other session, I will be explaining you people what do we mean by traction. Okay, we call it the traction system. Sorry, traction. We call it the traction. So I can call this thing transmission system is the kind of system that makes sure that a proper traction or the relationship between the tire and the ground is always established to assure the forward and backward desired motion of the vehicle. Desired backward and forward motion of the vehicle. Okay, the kind of system that assures the forward and backward, desired forward and backward motion of the vehicle is regarded as the traction system. Is regarded as the transmission system. Really sorry, is regarded as the transmission system. For that, you can use anything. You can use the belt drive system, you can use the gearbox, you can use CVT, whatever you want to use, you can use it in your vehicle. I hope I gave you the clarity about each of these systems. I was talking about the performance parameters, the systems that are associated with the performance parameters. I talked about a steering system, I talked about suspension system, I talked about braking system, and I talked about transmission system. Now I will be discussing about the characteristic parameters. It means I will be discussing about the chassis frame. My dear friend, before understanding chassis frame, you need to understand the difference between chassis and chassis frame. In marketplace, people often interchangeably use chassis and chassis frame. But please remember with this one thing, as an engineer, you should have to know this thing that chassis frame and chassis, both of these terms are different. Hmm. Chassis frame and chassis are different entities. Okay. What is different is chassis versus chassis frame. Okay. Now, chassis frame is the complete entity. So if I talk about the automobile, if I talk about the Baja Buggy, the complete entity, the complete integrated entity that would be able to achieve all the defined objectives of the product. All the defined objectives of the product as per the laid out definition is regarded as the chassis. Please remember this one point, what I said. Chassis is the primary or the fundamental structure that could lay out or that could perform all the possible objectives defined in the definition of that particular subject, of that particular product. Okay, say for example, if you look up at my body, okay, I'm a human, I'm a man. So if you say I'm a man, okay, I'm Abhishek Jain, hmm, I'm Abhishek Jain, okay. Now, if I say I'm a boy, I'm a guy, I'm a man, then you will be saying just a man, just a man. I'm not talking about the language I speak, the knowledge, the understanding that I have. Each one of us have different sets of knowledge. Each one of us different understanding about different products. I've got my own very limited understanding of some products. We all have such things. Okay, we all have such things. Everyone has got a certain hairstyle, certain beard style, certain skin color, certain kind of makeup that we are using, the clothes that we are wearing. Everything is different. But anything that makes me a human is not these clothes, is not the language that I speak, is not the knowledge that I carry, is not how I behave, is not how I look, right? So each of these things, my knowledge, my hairstyle, my beard style, my clothes, these are my features. So if I remove the features from the primary structure, that is my body, then this body is regarded as the chassis frame. So the naked Abhishek is chassis, with the speak, with the language that he speaks, with the hairstyle, with the beard, with these clothes, or with the citizenship, the statement that I have. Each of these things makes me a man, or in the Indian citizen, or Abhishek Jain. But as a human, I am the chassis. As a Abhishek, I am the final product. Okay. What is chassis frame? So if you look up to my body, my dear friends, if you look up to my body, anything that holds all the basic instruments required to develop a human. I need a heart. I need a heart. I need a stomach. I need the lungs. I need the kidneys. I need the liver. I need the brain. I need all these joints, these muscles, these veins, these arteries. Anything that makes me alive, this is regarded as the chassis. And anything that holds each of these systems together is regarded as the chassis frame. So my skeleton that gives me this shape, the skeleton that gives me this shape, the skeleton that holds my brain here, that holds my heart here, that holds my liver, kidneys, stomach, the lungs, everything here is regarded as the chassis frame. And combining each of these systems together is regarded as the chassis. Combining each of these systems together is regarded as the chassis. Okay, so this is the difference between chassis and chassis frame. So you must have seen some naked trucks into the marketplace, into the highways. Okay, now whatever the kind of body structure you will be mounting over it, the cabin, the AC cabin, non-AC cabin, the big container cabin, whatever the kind of structure you will be carrying it, making it the final product. But just the chassis outlet with the headlights, with the steering control, with the braking, with the engine, and with the driver's seat, it's regarded as the chassis. Okay, so please remember this one thing: chassis versus chassis frame. So now chassis frame. What is chassis frame? My dear friend, chassis frame is the kind of structure that is required to mount all the possible objects, all the possible systems of the vehicle together. That that integrates all the possible systems of the vehicle together is regarded as the chassis frame. Or you can also say chassis frame provides the layout. How would your vehicle look like? Layout of the vehicle is also defined by chassis frame. Is also defined by chassis frame. I hope you got this basic understanding. If you understood the complete concept, could you please show the thumbs up or show your heart in the chat box? Could you please do it so that I could get to know that you people are getting the entire concept? Do it now, my dear friends, so that I could get to know that you people are able to understand whatever I am saying. Could you do this, please? Everyone, I want each of you to please respond. I want each of you to please respond here. Okay. Now this is the time for the attendance. As each of you already know this thing that this is a free certification session. As you all know this thing that this is a free certification session. So you will be getting the link of the attendance form, and I would be requesting each one of you to please fill this attendance form within 5 minutes. And the certificate is going to be provided only to the people who have already filled the registration form. I've shared the link of the attendance sheet in the chat box. I would be requesting each of you to please fill the attendance sheet. I have shared the attendance sheet link here. I would request each one of you to please fill the attendance sheet to receive the certificate of participation for today's session. I have shared the attendance sheet link with each of you. I would be requesting you people to please fill the attendance sheet to avail the certificate of participation for today's session. Only those people who will be filling up this particular attendance sheet will be getting the certificate of participation. Moreover, it is also compulsory that you have filled the registration link of this particular session beforehand. Okay, the link is not available. Let me just check it. I hope there's an error from my side. Let me just fix it. Okay, I hope you all are getting the link now. Please check. I hope you all are getting the link now. Okay, Apurv, please recheck. I have shared the attendance link here. I would also request you people to please follow our other social media handles. We are available on LinkedIn, we are available on Facebook, we are available on Instagram as well. I would be requesting you people to please follow us on our other social media handles as well. This link of the attendance sheet will remain open for the next 5 minutes. I would be requesting each of you to please mark your attendance in the attendance sheet. It is mandatory for you people to mark your attendance in the attendance sheet so that you can get the certificate of participation for today's session. Okay, I have got the response from 16 students till now. Do it. Everyone, please mark your attendance. This form will remain open. This attendance sheet will remain open for next 3 minutes. Please mark your attendance. Please mark your attendance. Okay, thank you so much everyone for supporting us. As you can see, these are our social media handles. I would be requesting each one of you to please give us a follow on our social media handles like Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. This will help us out in reaching out to more people. It is very crucial for us to reach out to more people. We are going to come up with such kind of content in the coming future as well. I would be requesting each of you to please give us a follow on our other social media handles. If you need the notes of today's session, if you need the notes of today's session, I will be sharing or I am sharing the link of our Telegram channel. You will be getting the notes of today's session on our Telegram channel. I have shared the link of our Telegram channel in the chat box. I would be requesting you people to please follow our Telegram channel. We are going to come up with many more sessions and all the notes are going to be shared there itself. For all the standard textbooks in the field of student motorsports, in the field of other technical products or projects, you will be getting each of these details on our Telegram channel. I'm also sharing the link of our WhatsApp channel. You may also think of our joining our WhatsApp channel as well. In the WhatsApp channel, you will also get to know about the day-to-day activities of ARC Global. Whatever we are doing in the field of student motorsports, in the field of technological products, you will be getting the complete details in there. Okay, last 1 minute left to mark your attendance. I would be requesting you people, if you have not marked your attendance yet, do it now. You won't be getting another chance to mark your attendance. Last few seconds left. After that, I won't be accepting any attendance response. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The time for filling your attendance is over now. Thank you so much everyone for trusting us. Thank you so much for being here. Let's proceed ahead with the session and complete our topic of discussion for today. Okay, let's move ahead. So we discussed about each of these systems now. Let's talk about if you need to develop the entire vehicle, if you need to develop the entire product, how will you do it now? The question comes up. To develop the complete product, my dear friends, you need to work on the targeted values. You need to work on the targeted values. Now, as I've told you this one thing, that the chassis frame structure defines the layout of the vehicle, the complete dimension of the vehicle. How will you do this thing? There are three levels of iteration. There are three levels of design. Level 1, level 2, level 3. How will you do this thing? Now, you will be asking your team if it is for the very first time that you are trying to develop a product, or even if you have got the experience, I would suggest you people to start this thing. Okay, to start working with this particular approach, it will take time. It will take a time of month or 2 months, but the kind of understanding that you will be developing with the product development, product design is going to be at par. Okay, is going to be at par. How will you do this thing? Now, you have been given a target to design a Baja Buggy and you do not know where to start with. So what will you be doing? First, have some targeted values. You know that my vehicle is comprised of two systems, the characteristic and performance. The characteristic attributes include the design of chassis frame, and the performance attributes include steering, transmission, braking, and suspension. You know this thing, right? Okay, so what you will be doing, you will be forming the independent teams. Now, you will be asking the steering system team to design their independent model. Ask them, do not care about the weight, do not care about the speed, do not care about anything possible in this world. Ask them to develop their own case study. If they need to develop the steering system for a vehicle, how will they do this thing? The steering system would look this big, would be having 10 kg weight, would be having 50 kg weight. It all depends on them. Just give them the basic target. Hmm. Just give them the very basic, what those basic targets are, I will be explaining later. Okay, the complete independent work. Now, when you design the complete structure, when you design the complete vehicle, you will find out that the steering system is associated with suspension system. The steering system is associated with braking system. The steering system is associated with transmission system. Okay. Now you are developing the steering system without considering the effect of braking, transmission and suspension system over it. Similarly, you will be having the team of suspension system and they are developing the suspension system without considering the effect of transmission, braking or steering over it, without considering this. Similarly, you will be having the team of transmission system which will be developing the complete system without considering the effect of suspension, steering and braking. Similarly, you will be having the team of braking system which will be developing the braking system without considering the effect of transmission, suspension and steering. Complete independent, completely independent. Okay, got it. Done. Please remember this one thing. The theory of vehicle dynamics does not arise because of steering, suspension, transmission or braking. No. It arose because of the integration of each of these systems. Okay, so you have got the independent team of steering system, braking system, suspension system, transmission system. You have got the individual 4 different teams of these parameter performance attributes. Okay, independent teams. They have done their work. They took 5 days, 10 days to develop their models. They developed their models. Just the basic models. And when I say model, do not include how much weight they are going to carry. No, do not include if these are technically feasible or not. Just focus on the kinematic approach. Say for example, steering system. I need to develop a mechanism so that if they are attached with my tire, I will be developing the system so that when I provide the input here, my tires will turn, my tires will rotate on vertical axis, along the vertical axis. That's it. Okay, if I talk about the suspension system, just develop a system that if anything comes, any hindrance comes to the road, my tire will travel upward or downward. That's it. Transmission system, develop a system that in a way that at any road condition, my vehicle would be able to move forward or backward. For braking system, during any condition, I would be able to stop my vehicle. That's it. That's the kinematic. Do not include the forces. Just include the mechanism. Just include the mechanism. The kinematic model is needed to be made. That's it. Now, I've told you one thing, characteristic attribute. Bring steering system, transmission system, suspension system, and everything together. And your driver. Try to bring them as close to each other as possible. There are 2 rules of designing the chassis frame. First, design it as simple as possible. Second, design it as light as possible. There are 2 rules of designing a chassis frame. I'm not going to get into details of vehicle dynamics, just a bit of overview to give you the real understanding. Bring them as close to each other as possible. This is how you start. Bring them as close to each other as possible. Bring them as close. Okay? Do not care about anything in the world. This is my driver seated. This is how steering is need to be attached so that he can control it or she can control it. Engine, everything. Attach them as together, as close to each other as possible so that you can statically see that it can perform. It can move forward, it can move backward. That's it. This is known as level 1 of iteration. Okay, my tires attached together, driver seat, steering system, engine, shafts, everything attached together. This is the structure. This is the condense them in the least possible space. Please, this is a stepwise process. Don't say that the kind of steering system that we have developed is not going to work out, let's change it. Or the kind of steering system that I have developed is going to create the effect, is going to create a kind of hindrance with the kind of suspension system that we are installing in the vehicle. Don't care about it. What I'm saying, do not care about anything in the world, just install them together. Install them as close to each other as possible. That's it. That is your only target. Bring them as close to each other as possible. Okay, just look up geometrically. You need to arrange them in the closed space. Closed packing, nothing more than that. Okay, now in the level 1, what we are doing, we are working the characteristic dimensioning. We are closely packing them together. The kind of structure that is required to mount all these objects will be given to the chassis frame design. You did this thing. The first step is closely pack each of these fitment, close fitment. Static. Now second, once you have brought all these things together, you need to look up if the model that I have made, if my tire moves upward or downward. This is my steering, my driver, my engine, everything is installed together. If my tire move upward or downward, what effect will it create to the steering mechanism? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it negative? Oh, negative. So what you need to do, you need to check for the interference. Okay, this is third step. I'm really sorry. The second step is weight distribution. First, bring them as close to each other as possible. Second, distribute the weight in the front shaft, rear shaft, right, left. Try to have the equivalent weight. Okay. After sorting this, you need to check for the interference. When my tires turn, are they interfering with the chassis frame? If yes, then extend the dimension, increase the dimension. Okay, increase the track weight. When my tire travel upward or downward, is it interfering with any part of my vehicle? If yes, then increase the height of the product. When I apply the brake, what is happening? If something is happening, change the length of the vehicle. Okay, look for the interference, dynamic interference of the product, and accordingly change the shape of the product. I hope you are getting this. First, find the close fit, develop the close fitment. Second, distribute the weight, and third, look for the dynamic interference. Look for the dynamic interference. That's it. That's it. Nothing, no science, nothing. Just do it. Is it interfering? Okay. Is my tire interfering with the chassis frame? Increase the track width. With the tire travel, is it interfering any part? Increase the height. With the motion forward, with the motion rearward, or with the brake, something is happening, change the dimension. That's it. Change the dimension. Level 1 fitment is prepared. Now look. Level 1 fitment is prepared. Now, steering system. The team of steering system has already developed the level 1 of design, where I have made the system which is independent of suspension, braking, transmission and chassis frame, independent of each of these systems. Okay, level 1 is steering system. Now, what I need to check with the current steering system, if I include the involvement of suspension system plus the involvement of suspension system. What I am doing, level 1 of steering system plus the level 1 of suspension system. Now you will see the behavior of the complete product is going to change. I will be making certain changes. Okay, I will be making certain changes to my steering system, and I will be calling it in transient level 1 of steering system with suspension. Level 1 transient. Now what I will be looking up, I will be looking up how will this thing make its changes with the braking system. Okay, again developed iterated model is going to be in transient model of steering system in association with suspension and braking. Again I will be looking up its effect with level 1 of transmission system, and I will be making the changes to the final design, and I will be saying this is the level 2 of my steering system in association with suspension, braking, and transmission. See what I've done? I have iterated the design of the steering system solely on the basis of suspension. Then after iterating it, I am iterating the design of the steering system solely on the basis of suspension system. And then the model that I have developed, I will be iterating that particular model's design with the transmission system. And the model that I will be getting now for the steering system is known as the level 2. The shape can change, the mechanism can change, anything can change. This is known as the level 2 design of steering system. Similarly, I will be repeating this process for the suspension system, braking system, and transmission system. I will be repeating this. And when I repeat it, and as well as I will be remodeling this particular structure, I am also changing the design of my chassis frame. I have done the level 1, carried. Level 2 for each of the systems, carried. Now see level 3. I have got the level 2 of steering system. What I will be doing, I will be including the effect of level 2 of suspension system and repeat the same process like this. Same process like this. You will be getting the level 3 of steering system. And for other systems, you will be getting for suspension, transmission, braking, you will be getting this design. And this is how the entire vehicle is needed to be developed. This is how the entire system is needed to be developed. Complete vehicle is needed to be developed. Please remember this one thing. Designing is a continuous iterative process. It's a continuous iterative process. Okay? It's a continuous iterative process. I hope you people got this particular point, how it works. Level 2 of suspension. You will be getting the level 2 transient. Level 2 transient of steering. Then repeat it for the level 2 of braking. You will be getting level 2 further transient model for steering. Then include for the level 2 of transmission. You will be getting the level 3 of steering. And this is how you make the complete model. This is how you make the complete model. I hope you people got some understanding about Baja Buggy Design and Dynamics. I hope this particular session is useful to each of you. If you have learned something from today's session, please think of subscribing our YouTube channel. I will be coming up with more such videos to give you the understanding about the complete history in motorsports. Over that, we will be discussing about the fundamentals of CAD, we will be discussing about CA, we will be discussing about electric vehicles, automobile, robotics, Industry 4.0, and whatsoever comes up in the tech world. We will be coming up with those sessions, those free sessions on YouTube in the coming days. And for that, we need your support. Please suggest this particular channel to all your student friends, to all the possible community members of Student Motorsports or your engineering community. So thank you so much everyone for joining up with today's session. I know I have not completed the entire topic. I have not discussed about each of the fundamental uh, points that are needed to be included in the development of Baja Buggy. But these are some points which we will be taking up in the coming sessions. So for today, that's all from my side, guys. My name is Abhishek Jain. I am the founder director of ARC Global. So thank you so much. Give us a follow on our social media handles. We are available on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much.